Hey, guess what? I'm back. And then at the end of the last video, I was just telling, because it was getting so long, I started saying I had some really good stuff to talk about, but the video is getting so long, so you just have to come back to the next one. Well, guess what? Here we are. I hope I've got good stuff to talk about. But it's still camera time, and it's me getting used to this camera, which I'm getting much more relaxed with it. I'm going to keep talking here, and like I said, sometimes good stuff comes out of me, and I'm getting on different subjects, and sometimes it might be really boring. So I guess it's to each their own, because some of these subjects maybe you find very fascinating if you've went through at least some of my videos and skimmed through them and listened to some of the different things I've talked about. Sometimes they start out boring, and somehow my mind, I'll start talking about something or being quiet because I'm thinking, and then all of a sudden I start talking about something, and that something will lead me into how I got closure with my dad who wasn't there in my life, and how I got to understand what he was raised through and why he wasn't there for me. And it wasn't that he didn't love me, but it was because he was lost too and didn't know how to figure out life. He was lost and scared and didn't, he was trying to figure it all out himself. But I got to understand that. So that's just an example of how my videos can go from, I wonder if this will reach up here. Where's this plugged into? Aha. Yeah. For my house batteries, I can plug in my phone. Ta-da! That way I can charge it without pulling more juice out of my engine battery. But what's cool about my system I got set up, my solar panels charge my house batteries. Once my house batteries are full, they open up a gate. Once the voltage, not full, but once the voltage is so high, then the DC to DC charger will open up a gate because I got it connected to my engine battery, and then it'll start charging my engine battery. So then I can see the voltage go up when the sun's out and keep my engine battery charged as well. Then in reverse, when I'm driving, when the alternator's got the engine battery charged to a certain voltage, that gate will open up and let the alternator start helping charge my house batteries. So I've got two different charging sources to keep my main good batteries full that give me all my 120 power and my 12 volt power for running all my other stuff. I have not ran out of power yet in 3 years. In 3 years, I have not once have I ran my batteries to zero. Not my main batteries. Now my other battery that came with the camper, the marine battery would run the normal 12 volt lights in the camper, and it powers the 12 volt that lights the igniter for the fridge and stuff like that. I'm trying to think what else that 12 volt runs. Well, the fan over the stove, it'll run that there. It's the same 12 volt that runs the vent fans. But anyway, that one I've had go down low. But that's a different system. And then I didn't have a charger for it at the time either. And those type of batteries, if you run them past 50%, it kills the battery out quicker. It's all stuff I've learned in the process. So now I've got another charge controller that I tapped into my solar with that splits off from that. So the solar also charges the main house battery that came with the camper. But because I'd already ran that one down lower and stuff, it's not the greatest shape battery, and I've had it for a few years now, 3 years. So when I put in a new one, that one, once it's a new one, it'll last a lot longer because I've actually got a better charging system for it now. So it'll keep it more topped off. Anyway, I don't know how I got on that subject. Oh, and that anyway word snuck in there. There's a guy walking his dog, or a lady walking on their dog. No, I think it's a guy. I don't know. I think it's a guy, though. It's all bundled up. Looks like a black lab, I think. I'm not sure. So here I am with the camera running again. Just a reminder, this channel, I try to be the real deal. I don't script it. I just turn on the camera and start talking. And which is me being me. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm proud of this channel. Whatever it is I'm doing. I know there's already people it's helped, and that makes me just, I can't even express words of knowing how that good that makes me feel inside. that me being me and sharing who I am, that there's people that it's actually affected in a good way. It makes me just feel so happy, and so it makes me feel like I'm doing this for a good reason, which that's all intended for a good reason anyway. And this channel wouldn't have started if God didn't tell me He wanted me to start talking about it more. Which I told God that people might think I'm crazy, and He said that's okay. You will always have me, and He was right. So, but I'm a human being too. I like companionship and friendship and all that kind of good stuff. So I'm glad that I keep meeting more people. It's another thing that can be tough, not only financially, not working and stuff, and going through this struggle and showing my vulnerability in front of the camera. Because that's another reason why I started this channel. And as for my regular viewers, I know I sound like a broken record, but for new viewers, yeah, I was scared about doing this because I'm showing my vulnerabilities, and right now I'm kind of sucking at life, but am I? Because society might say that because I'm out of work right now, haven't found work, and surviving in a camper and trying to look for help in that. But I'll tell you what, I've been one heck of a positive impact on this community, and I know it just because of the friends I've made and the conversations we've had, and it makes me feel kind of good, kind of flattering that when I've left town to go for my free play that I would get at the casino, that helped me earn a few bucks to put more gas in the tank, and maybe sometimes have a few extra bucks to get toilet paper or whatever. There's been a few times now that before they knew that I would go do that, when I'd come back into town, people are looking for my camper, and it sticks out because it's a camper. So, and everybody knows me because I'm social. So apparently, in the beginning, there was a few times, and it's happened a few times since too, that people drive around and they can't see my camper. Because I used to bounce different spots. I used to stay at Cub or Walmart here. I've moved around different spots in this within, I don't know, the size of it, within a 20-mile perimeter or something. But since I've been out of work and ran out of money, I've been pretty much contained to this Walmart lot for the most part. And I even moved from here because I don't want to just sit here nonstop and end up getting towed away, or they say you can't stay here, So I try to stay as mobile as I can, even though I can't afford it, because I don't want to get towed away or chased away. And I'm supposed to be here helping people or meeting people or whatever. Man, I'm getting sidetracked, and I forgot where I was going with this. Oh yeah. So before people got to know me well enough to know that part of my survival right now was using the free play and playing pennies to get a few bucks to put more gas in or whatever. Well, I disappeared for a couple days, and because before winter came, they have a campground at the casino too. That's the cheapest campground I've ever ran into so far. Cheapest. They were like $22 a night with hookups for electric and stuff and water. But then they have a dump station too, So if you are using your black tank, gray tank, you do that afterwards. Or if you're staying there for a long time, once it starts getting full, you got to disconnect and then go over a dump and then come back. But you got full hookup. So the only thing I like using them for, because otherwise I'm self-sufficient. No matter where I go, I create my own power. I got my own furnace and all this stuff. I got to get the actual propane furnace that came with the camper. Needs a little part that's cheap or whatever. So that ain't running right now, but I got my diesel heater, and I'd use that more anyway. It's more efficient and cheaper to run. God, I'm bouncing all over here. So when it gets really hot, really sunny, this thing, because it's a camper, it cooks. You could have a 80 degree day, and it could be 109 degrees in here, So because I could produce my own power, at least I can open the vents and get breeze going through here to keep it down. But like if you're gone somewhere shopping, or like when I was working, I'd come back in the camper because I've got the windows all closed up and everything. I don't want somebody to come steal my stuff. I come back in the camper, it'd be 109 degrees in here. Holy crap, God, let's get this thing vented out. Let's swim through this and get it started. But I disappeared. God, I'm getting sidetracked again. I disappeared. So I'm gone for a couple days. I was at the campground because it was cheapest, and I could plug into power there and run the roof air conditioning because I don't have a generator. So when it gets really hot, if I want to run the roof air to stay cooler, I got to plug in somewhere, So while plugging in there and getting free play, I could stay there cheap, and well, of course, I had more money then too. That was right before I started really running out of money in the summer, and so I'd be gone for a few days. And then when I come back in town, all the people at the different businesses and stuff, like I'd stop in to get gas or something, say for example at Holiday, I can walk in, everybody's like, "Where have you been?" And that makes me feel good because of all this other crap I've had going on in my life, and my siblings all getting snaky and greedy and all this other bad stuff happening. I pray that they find the Lord and become better people. I really do. So I'm just glad that I'm able to forgive all the nastiness and leave that with them and try to build my life new and not be a part of that. I feel so much more freed and liberated, even though I'm going through some struggles, It's definitely not, from my opinion and everything I've experienced up to this point in my 57 years, even though I'm struggling, I feel so much more at peace and happier on a day-to-day basis than being around some of the toxicity between family and friends and stuff, I don't want to bash them. I could bash them because of not nice stuff that they've done, a lot of people. But, they're learning too, I guess, I don't mean to justify them either. But I hope that they find their way to being better people. I don't know. So, I got sidetracked again. So, back to me coming back with the camper, because it's a camper and it sticks out like a sore thumb. People are like, "Where have you been?" So, I told them that's how they started learning that I had the free play. That's partially how I survive, and in between not finding work. And so, like just tonight when I got the diesel, one of the workers was like, "Don't you normally go do your free play on Tuesdays?" And I said, "Well, no, Wednesday's when I get the most, but I can go on Tuesday and I get another swipe, which is normally like $10. Last week I got $15 free play on that swipe instead of 10. But you can get up to like 200 or 500 or something like that. I've never gotten that big. Most I think I've gotten is maybe $30 in that swipe, which still $30. As long as you're disciplined, you should be able to turn that $30 into $15 for sure of real money, and even more if you're playing pennies, But and you got to not spend it back in either. And just play the free play. And that's it. Free play, and don't put anything you win. Don't put it back in. Don't think you're going to try to win more. You just whatever you can win with that free play, you keep it. And then you can get a few bucks out of there, But so everybody knows my whole life, pretty well, not my whole life, but a lot of it, and they're all learning more of it, because if they got a question, I ain't gonna hide it from them. I'm who I am, and I'll tell you my whole life. And if somebody asked about into my 20s when I used to party or try different drugs and stuff, I'll talk about it. It's who I became today. It doesn't mean I'm proud of it. Doesn't mean I made good decisions, but it's all part of my experiences in life that brought me to where I am today. And I can't remember who I was talking to about it the other day. I was talking to one of my newer friends about it, that even the different drugs and partying I did in life, I don't regret that either, even though it wasn't good for my body, And I think there's a lot of people that experiment through their years growing up, whether it's drinking or smoking pot or whatever, And I've done more than that. But and I don't know more. But when I was younger, in my 20s, I did a lot of partying. And I don't regret it, though, because people that I've talked to nowadays, or through this, since all these years that I haven't done it and stuff, I've met people that I've talked to about that are using or doing drugs or having tough times, and they'll listen to me because I can tell them what I've done too. And I actually have surprised a lot of them that stuff I've done that they haven't done, So they know that I can relate with them more, because like if I hadn't never done drugs and I was just straight all my life, well then if I'm trying to talk to somebody that's used drugs for that, they might not have as much value in anything I got to say because they're experiencing something different that I've never experienced. So I don't know if that just happened or if it was supposed to happen in my life so I could talk to more people and that I understand certain things. I don't know. Does that make sense? I hope it does. And that's a good feeling too, when you can relate with somebody that's been using or that and trying to get themselves straight. And when you actually can reach somebody to where they really feel you truly communicating and caring and understanding, and they want to get better, and they trust you to trust your advice or that, and then you see them get better and start doing better and not using no more, or their life's getting better and they're getting ahead, and knowing that you're just even a small part of that is a wonderful feeling, to know that you help somebody for life, maybe. The karate master used to tell me stuff like, if you give somebody a fish, you fed them for a day. But if you teach them how to fish, then you fed them for life. So I've been fortunate enough to get a lot of wisdom that I paid attention and absorbed from some really good role models, my karate master being one of them. I talk about him frequently in these videos. There's another man named Lloyd Kirk that started a group called Man in Transition. It was a group I checked into after me and my ex split up, my daughter's mom, because in my mind I thought we were going to grow old together and raise a family. So when things didn't work out between us and that split apart, I was lost. I was messed up. I was depressed, suicidal, because I had tunnel vision. I thought, in my mind, I seen us growing old together, raising a family together, and all these family events and different things and stuff. And it took the two of us to tango, She made mistakes, I made mistakes. The mistakes she made, I didn't know how to forgive them or let go of them, so then I became a butthead because I didn't know how to let go of the mistakes she did that hurt my feelings, and so then I became a bonehead and kept holding that against her and not being able to move forward. But I was young and learning, so was she, and we've talked a little bit about some of this stuff, and even today, if she had something she wanted to get off her chest or talk to me about, I'm there for her. I'd do anything I could to help her. I'll love her the rest of my life. I'm not in love with her, but I care about her. She's my daughter's mom, and wouldn't want no one to never hurt her. And if I could ever do anything to help her, I'd do it. It's just we're young and learning stuff. But that was tough for me, and so that Man in Transition group, I checked that into that because of me being so depressed over it all. I had to figure out the part of me that wanted to survive. There's part of me that just wanted to die and be done because it hurt so bad inside, and I just wanted that pain to go away. I didn't want to have to feel that pain no more. But that part of me that wanted to survive thought, man, this pain hurts so much. That's why I wanted to do myself internet. But then I thought, the part of me that wanted to survive thought, I gotta go. I'd quit drinking, quit drugs on my own, never went to group and stuff. But this one I couldn't handle. I was just too emotional, too much of an emotional pain. So I thought, I gotta seek some type of help to see if there's something I can learn or find that's gonna help me understand this better and why my relationship didn't work out. And luckily I got into that group. Is Lloyd Kirk. I don't think he's alive anymore. He's older then, and for all the years ago that it was, because that was like 25 years ago at least, and I think he's long gone. I've tried looking him up a couple times and haven't been able to locate him. Doesn't mean I couldn't still find him, but hopefully I should try again, because if he's still alive, I would love to see him and just give him a hug and let him know how much I appreciate him in my life, because he opened up my mind a lot of stuff I already knew, but I forgot about. And I'll talk about that more in some of my future videos, but I don't want to get too sidetracked. And we're getting long here again. Maybe I'll talk about it in the next video. Maybe I'll talk about my Man in Transition group and things I learned in that. So I'm gonna have to cut it short. Once again, thanks for watching. Give it the old thumbs up if you would. No, man, my thumb's big when it's close to the camera. Bigger than my head. Man, I don't want to hit myself with that. So, talk to God about anything. Even if your life's going good, talk to God. Acknowledge Him. He likes that. And while you're talking to Him, tell Him Darren says hi. We'll talk to you on the or see you on the next one. And thanks for watching. God bless you.